Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Joey again. You're watching Vegas D-Tech and we have another Vegas D-Tech review for you today. Guys, since 2019 or about half a decade now, the Lectric XP 3.0 has held the title as the best bang for your buck bike that you could get for under $1,000. And you know, I've been going out to Lake Mead. I have seen so many people out there and they're all riding that bike, and for good reason. It is an absolute wonderful bike. I actually did a review on that bike probably about 6 months ago, maybe 7 months ago, where I said that it was definitely a keeper. A lot of people like that bike because not only is the bike a quality bike with good components, but it is also based right here in the United States, and there's an actual customer care number that you can get in contact with. The bike shops will repair it, and you can get parts right here out of Arizona sent to you in a reasonable time. And now in 2024, we have a new challenger that is stepping up to the plate to fight for that title of the best bang for your buck bargain e-bike. That's a lot of B's. And we're gonna be taking a look at a company, guys, called Ride One Up, and they have a new bike. You know, it's a refined version of what the XP has, and it's called the Portola. Let's have a look. We're gonna go ahead and go over the components and specs, take it for a ride, and check out the characteristics and performance of the bike. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna give you my opinions, likes, dislikes, and then we're gonna wrap it up and see, does the Ride One Up Portola come on the block as the new king of the hill for the sub price of $1,000? Can it take the title for 2024 as the best bang for your buck e-bike on the market? The Portola comes with a 10.4 amp hour battery, which is going to give you anywhere between 20 to 40 miles per hour based on the topography that you're on, the weight of the rider, and how heavy you are on the throttle as opposed to the pedal. It does come paired to a 750 watt hub motor, an 8-speed Shimano cassette as opposed to the traditional 7. It's also going to come with the Shimano Altus derailleur, which is a step up from the Shimano Tourney derailleur, which you normally find on these e-bikes. A anti-corrosive chain. One other thing that Ride One Up did, which is really cool, is they added this little skid tape on the frame down here to where the chain can't hit it. Some of the other bikes, the chain will hit it and you'll start getting scarring and scratching and your paint getting all nicked up and banged up. But they put this little guard down here that's going to prevent that from happening. So that's just really nice that they did that. Also is that this chain normally bangs up on this fender right here, especially the ones that are made out of metal. And it just makes a big rackety noise whenever you're riding down the street. It clacks around when the chain hits it when you come off the sidewalk or a bump. And it's just unnecessary noise. But what they did here is they actually cut out this little teeny groove. And what that does there is it gives it room to where the chain won't actually hit the fender, making it nice and quiet. So just a nice little touch here with the cutout and the guard that they put on this lower part of the frame. Coming up to the top, guys, you're gonna have your adjustable grips. I like these paddle style grips here because your palms are gonna be able to rest on them, and they won't slide around because they come with locks as well. So you can unlock it, adjust it to the angle that you want, then lock it down, and you should have a nice sturdy grip that won't slide around on you. You're also going to see here an 8-speed paddle style shifter as opposed to the 7-speed index style shifter that you would normally find on bikes in this price range. So a nice touch on this. The way that works here, guys, is that you will lower your gears by using your thumb, and you'll go ahead and raise your gears by pulling on the front one. So it's an over-under type of a paddle shifter that rides underneath this handlebar, just like this. Nice little touch, nice component. I like that they did this on this bike. It's also going to come with hydraulic brakes, guys. Now the XP has hydraulic brakes as well, and now you have that on the Portola. Front and rear hydraulic brakes, and it's going to run all the way down to 180 millimeter rotors, which is a feature that needs to be on bikes that are able to go up to class 3, 28 miles an hour. You need to have the ability to stop this bike, and the 180 millimeter rotors with that hydraulic brake system, it's an absolute must, and it comes included on the Portola. And as far as your suspension, you're going to have a dual crown design right here. You're not going to have the ability to adjust your preload. That's already preset for you, but you are going to have the ability to adjust your dampener. So you can go ahead and lock it out and make this thing really rigid and stiff, or you can go ahead and open it up and make it nice and smooth and bouncy for your suspension in case you're going over rough terrain and you got a lot of bumps. Coming back up to the handlebar, you'll have your left grip, and you're going to have a thumb activated throttle. Your control panel display is going to be a very basic display here. 3 buttons, power, up and down. And as you can see right here, hopefully you can see this here, you're going to have a battery meter. You're going to have your gear, power gear selection level here, and it goes from 0 actually to 5, and that'll give you your power assist levels. Your mile per hour will be listed here. Your wattage power will be down below, showing you how much power your motor is providing. And if you hit your power button, it's going to click over to total miles ridden. You're going to have a trip meter, so you can set it to see how many miles you rode on that current trip. You can also change your time for how many minutes you've been on the bike, and then come back around back to your watt power again. So very, very simple display, and a lot of people like a simple display like this. No need for an app, just a very straightforward, intuitive meter. The bike also comes with headlights. You'll go ahead and hold down the positive button. The headlight icon will pop on, and then you should be able to see your headlight. It also comes with tail lights. It's doing the flickering right now, but that's only because of the frame rate of the camera. It's actually steady, and if you hit the brakes, you should see the brake light come on as well. So it does have an active tail light and brake light system. One of the best things that I love about this is the rack. I always prefer a bike that has a rack on it. Why? Because I normally put a box on the back here, or a cargo carrier rack, something like this. And what this does right here is it allows me to put all of my stuff inside this little box. My locking chain, my water bottle, camera, gear, some lunch, what have you. I can put it inside here, not necessarily wear a backpack. And it's this rack right here can hold up to 130 pounds, but you're not going to have to worry about that unless you're going to ride somebody on the back, which they do give a provision here for foot pegs, where you can actually put foot pegs back here and hold a rider of up to 130 pounds. But I like this rack right here in the back. Another feature that's cool on here, which is just, forethought, is they put a little snap where when you fold this bike, this is a folding style bike, you can hold it together with this little snap, put it all together. Transporting the bike in and out of your vehicle becomes very easy because it won't come apart with this snap. Folding and unfolding the bike is very straightforward and simple. Doesn't take but a couple of steps to do it. And here's how it is. Kick up your kickstand. Then you'll pull up on this little teeny tab here, pull back on the lever, which is going to go ahead and split your bike for you. Then up top here, you're going to push down the lever, and there's one more on the front so that the handlebar will go down. Then you'll be able to take this bike here, push it together like this, and there you have it. And the nice feature that it has right here is going to be this little teeny, strap that they have right here. You'll be able to undo this, wrap it around, bring it back over, and snap it in place. And that way the bike stays together and it's easy for you to pick up with just one hand. And then to unfold the bike and put it back together again, you'll just undo the strap, fold it back up, lock this in place, bring this one back, kickstand down, and you're all ready to go. Getting the battery in and out is a breeze because of the top loading design. You just need to take your key, put it in, and you'll be able to pop this thing out. There should be a power meter right here. Hopefully you can see this. When you hit that, you'll see how much power you have in your battery cell. And you'll be able to take this inside your store, your office, whatever, bring your charger, charge this thing up, and then you'll be able to put this thing right back in, just like that. Lock it up, and then you will be able to ride home with a full battery and not have to have any kind of range anxiety. Up to 20 to 40 mile ride to your office and 20 to 40 mile ride back home, as long as you bring your charger and charge up the battery once you get to work. Now, the seat stem is made by a company called Zoom. Easy to adjust for a shorter rider. One little clamp right here, you can push it all the way down. And so shorter riders of around 5 feet, this will be a perfect riding position for them. However, for myself, I'm about 6 feet tall. I can bring it up to right around here, tighten it up, and this is the perfect ride position for me because I want to be able to have full leg extension as I pedal and not be so cramped up. And this will give me the ability to push with my leg and feel more comfortable as I ride. So a fully adjustable seat. And the saddle is very soft too. I'm surprised because normally these seats, the factory seats, are very hard, but this factory seat right here, I've ridden it now for about 23 miles just today, and it's been nice and smooth and comfortable. Good seat. Alrighty guys, enough with components, features, specs. If you guys need to know more, you guys can look down in the description, go to the website, take a look at the Portola, and read up on all the features and specs that you want that I may have missed. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and jump on this bike and see how she actually performs out here on the test circuit. Let's go. We're out over at my son's high school. I feel like this is probably the best way for me to test this bike in an area that I'm not going to have a lot of distractions with traffic and so forth, but we're going to go ahead and talk about the ride characteristics. You know, I've had this Portola here for about 2 weeks now. I never knew the difference between a good bike and a bad bike. And unless you've had an opportunity to test really good bikes and bargain bikes, you'll never know the difference between what is a good bike and what is a bad bike. But I got to tell you, there's something very uniquely and inherently special about this Portola. Some of these bikes, you don't want to pedal it. The Portola makes you want to pedal it. I don't know if it's because this has that additional 8th gear that they've added to it, because I've got it in 8th gear right now, and I could pedal it all the way up to the maximum 28 miles an hour, and I constantly feel like I'm connected to the bike. Some of these bikes here with the 7th gear only, that's the highest gear that you get, that's the tallest gear, is the 7th gear. As you get into 20 to 25 miles an hour, you will start to over pedal, over rev, or hamster, and then you're basically ghost pedaling at that point where you're not actually helping the bike at all. You don't feel like you're actually working out. And with this Portola, it just makes you want to pedal. So we know that the back of this bike does not have a rear suspension. It's a solid frame in the rear. The seat on this is a good seat. It disperses my weight nice and even across the back to where when I do hit a bump in the back, it doesn't hurt my bottom like some of these seats do. So no back suspension, no big deal. How about the front suspension? The front suspension, however, is adjustable. I think I have it unlocked right now. So it's able to absorb and dampen some of these bumps as I go across it. It's actually tuned good. A lot of times when I'm with Maria right now, she's behind me on the electric bike, and sometimes when she rides these bikes, she says my arm feels numb. And then when I find out, she has the front suspension locked out to where it's just it's stuck on stiff, and that means her arm is taking all of the bumps through her arm, and it makes her arms tired. So then when I go ahead and I unlock it and I put it to where the front bumps are dampened by the front shock, then she doesn't complain so much about her arm getting numb. The Portola has that option. There is no preload on there, but to be totally honest with you guys, I have no idea on how to even use that preload. I don't know. I've never really found a way to utilize it. I don't even know if it works. half the time. We don't have that option on the Portola. I don't think it's necessary. However, just give me an opportunity to adjust the dampener and I'm good. This is a Class 2 e-bike. Now, like I said, I'm not a professional when it comes to knowing all the legal jargon about e-bikes. I do know like Class 1 is just pedal only and you will not have a throttle. So we're pedaling right now. It is motor assisted, but there's no throttle. Okay, I believe that's Class 1, and I believe that can go up to 20 miles an hour pedal only. And I believe Class 2 is going to be where you have a throttle and you have a pedal, and in any combination, whether you're going with your pedal or if you want to go with your throttle, you're going to be able to go up to 20 miles per hour using just the pedal or throttle or a combination of the two. You have that. So the Portola comes automatically from the factory as a Class 2 e-bike, and it's stamped below the bottom of the stem of the seat. So it is a completely legal bike. You can unlock it for Class 3. I'll show you in a little bit how you go about doing that. It's pretty simple. And Class 3 is going to allow you to get up to 28 miles per hour, okay? 28 miles per hour if you're using the pedal. Throttle only will get you up to 20 miles an hour. If you want to get up to the 28, you're going to have to use a combination of the throttle and your pedal. And if you combine the two of them together, then you'll be able to rock it up to 28. This Portola here comes, this was shipped to me with a 10.4 amp hour battery. Let's talk about range. If you are going to be in Class 3 and you're going to be in power level 5 and you're constantly on the throttle and you are just like keeping it above 25 and hitting the 28, if you're going to be up in that range at 25, 28 miles per hour all day, oh, you're going to kill this battery quickly. I mean, I know that the website says that you're going to get 20 to 40 miles out of the battery. Realistically, guys, man, I just want to be real with you. If you're going to be riding your bike that way in Class 3, Power Assist 5 at 28 miles an hour, you're going to get 15 miles out of that battery. It goes quick. It goes quick. However, if you're going to be pacing yourself like right now, we're just riding around this parking lot here at the high school doing between 12 and 15 miles an hour. If you're going to be riding the bike like this, you will get probably 30. If you want to see above 30, you're going to have to drop this thing down into Class 1 or Class 2 and do mostly pedaling. And if you do that and you keep your pedaling down to around 12, you will see more along the range of about 30 to 35 miles. This battery configuration comes with a 10.4 amp hour. You know what? If you want to get more range, and who doesn't want more range, go ahead and get the extended battery. It's only $100 more. And you're going to get a 13.4 amp hour battery, which is going to give you more range and more time on the bike, okay? And this for $100 more. I would just say go ahead and do it right out the gate. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the brakes. How are the brakes on this? Everybody's raving about hydraulic brakes. Most people will say that the hydraulic brakes are better. They're more refined, and you're going to find those on the higher end e-bikes. The Portola brakes, guys, look, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I've ridden around on $2,000, $3,000 e-bikes, and when you go to hit the brakes, they just make stupid noise. They make that, it sounds like metal to metal grinding, or it has that whiny, high-pitched squeal, and it's embarrassing. Like, you just barely tap your brakes going through neighborhoods and stuff, and people could just hear you coming down the trails, making that grindy, scrapey metal to metal, just ugly noise. And those are on high-end bikes for $995. These are like non-branded hydraulic brakes, but guys, when I hit the brakes on this, there's no noise. Here, let me try to just show you. See if you can hear it. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Dude, there is no whining, there is no grinding, growling, none of that. This is some of the best brakes that I've felt, or at least heard. No pain to my ears. The Portola comes with very good brakes. Now, as far as seating position and comfort, I'm not gonna lie, it does feel a little bit, I feel a little bit crunched up. The handlebars feel a little bit too close for me. I end up wanting to seat further back on my seat. I'm riding all the way on the back of my seat, okay? If I actually sit on this bike the way that it's intended to be sat on at 6 feet, I feel a little bit cramped. Your seating position will fatigue you a certain way. And what I mean by that is if I sit on this bike the way that it is intending you to sit on, I'm going to be utilizing the muscle in my upper thigh, right? And that right there gets to be painful and tiring by using the upper thigh. Now, by me sliding back, when I slide back onto the seat as far back as I can go, I'm not using my thigh muscle. I'm actually using my calf muscle. And for me, I'm a lot more able to ride for longer, more comfortably using my calf muscle. So yeah, just one little shift between like an inch or two coming forward where I feel cramped. I'm using my thigh muscle, don't really like that too much. And then when I slide back and I utilize my calf muscle, oh man, I feel like I could just ride all day using calf muscle. So if you are a smaller person, say, 5'5", 5'6", or anywhere in that range, the seating position will probably be a lot better for you. And as far as a rider beyond 6 feet, up to 6 feet, you can adjust yourself on this and you're okay. If you're a taller rider than 6 feet, I would not recommend the bike for you. If you're taller than 6 feet, that's just being honest. Now, the handlebar here, if this handlebar was more of like the BMX style that has that U, you might be able to rotate it forward a little bit and give you a little bit more room for your arms. But being that this is like a straight bar, the straight bar design, no matter how you rotate it, you're not going to be able to get any more forward extension on the bar. It just is what it is. Also, there's no telescopic ability to raise the bar up. We had that on the XP where you could raise the bar up. This is fixed. So, how it sits is how it sits. So you got a fixed stem right here. And those are the limitations of the suspension and the ride geometry. So on the speed test, I'm gonna go down this back street over here and we're gonna actually go from 0 to maximum using the throttle. And then we're gonna go from 0 to maximum combining throttle with pedal and see how we can how we fare, okay? So I'm in power assist level 3. I'll just go ahead and bump it up to 5. I always ride it in power level 5. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get. Okay, I got the bike now in first gear, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start from 0, and we're gonna go up here and see how quickly I can get this bike up to speed. Power assist level 5, and here's the first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, sixth gear, seventh gear, eighth gear, and we're at 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 27.3, 27.5, 28. There you go, 28 miles an hour. And it roughly took me about 3/4 of a block to hit that using just pedal. All right. So what could we get here if we're going to go with just throttle? So let's go ahead and do this now with just throttle. So 1, 2, 3, go. Power assist level 5, class 3. We're at 15, 16, 18, 19, 20. And like I said, that's all you're going to see on this bike is 20 miles per hour. We're pulling about 300 watts and you're gonna hit 20 miles per hour. Any more power that you want out of the bike, you gotta combine it with pedal. And if I start kicking to the pedal now, we're back up again, 22, 23, we're pulling about 900 watts, 25, 26, 27, 28, 900 watts, 29, 30, 30 miles an hour, pulling about 900 watts. So guys, the Portola is not a slow bike. It's not a slow bike at all. Let me tell you, if you are a first-time buyer of an e-bike, you are going to be hard-pressed to find anything to be mad at about this bike. It is a damn good bike, especially for the price of $1,000, okay? Or $995. Let's zip in here. One thing I want to make mention, guys, if you guys are doing turns on the bike, you're making turns, be careful. I am an old school rider where when I pedal, I like to pedal through turns, okay, because I want to have that push power as I'm coming through a turn. And the problem you're going to have with this, guys, is as you're coming to a turn, if you're pedaling through a turn, your pedal is almost going to hit the ground much of the time. All right, much of the time when you pedal, you're going to have to get used to coming up to a turn and stop pedaling and just use your throttle to continue to give you that power through a turn. But you got to keep your whatever, if you're turning this way, keep the pedal up and then use your throttle to get you through that turn. All right, I have a bad habit of like, see, look, I'm pedaling through a turn. That's not good, because you will find a time when you're just like dragging that pedal, it's going to hit the ground and it's going to shock you. Let me see if I can show you what that actually looks like. So you can see, like right here, when you go to make that turn, look at how close the pedal is. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're leading, so just make sure if you guys are leaning, try to get into the lean, but keep the pedal up and utilize your throttle as you make that turn. So that's basically it, guys. That's been my little review of this Ride One Up Portola. Is it better than the Lectric XP? Well, you know, that's just going to come down to personal preference. The Lectric company has been around for a long time, and they're based here in the United States, but from what I've read, Ride One Up also is a USA-based e-bike company. They're not quite as big, but you can actually call and speak to somebody here in the United States, and they're up and coming, guys. So I really believe that at some point in time, you're going to be hearing more and more about Ride One Up. And it's hard. It's like I said, guys, it's hard to find anything to be mad about at this bike for the price that they're offering it for. It's loaded with really good features. They've done a great job, not just giving you some garbage. Alrighty, guys, so now comes the pros and cons of this bike. Maria and I have both ridden the Portola around for a good 2 weeks here, and we just want to say what the pros and cons are. So I'm going to let Maria basically tell me her top 3 pros of the bike. What are the 3 things that you like about the bike? You first said something about the step-in design?
Yeah, this one. It's so easy for me to step in and step out.
I'm going to put this right here.
Yeah. I know.
Okay, so the 3 things that you like in comparison from the Lectric to the Portola, what are the 3 things that you really like? Number 1.
The number 1, of course, is the step through. Yeah, easy for me to get up, get in. The second one is the power assist.
Okay, what about
even if I'm not on power number 1, it's so fast. It runs so fast, and then the handlebar, it doesn't twist on me.
Like the locking feature?
Yeah, it's a lock. Yeah, it's locked like that.
But were there anything at all that you said that you disliked about it?
Well, I wish that this power assist or throttle is on the right side, because I'm more comfortable with that rather than on the left.
Was there anything else that you could think of?
And the display, what do you call this?
Yeah, this display.
Yeah, I hope it's like the same as
you want them to
although
update
a
the
bigger
display.
one.
Yeah. All right, fine. Well, thank you very much for your for your help there.
I hope it makes sense to you.
Yeah, you made sense. No problem. Okay, guys. So for me, the 3 things that I really liked about it is I do like the step-through design. This design of the Portola, it's actually down and then across. So it's got a very a low slung step through. The clearance of stepping through, I like that, number one. The second thing I like about it is the battery being located in the down tube here, and that it can be removed top side. So if you're going to be going into your office or something like that, you rode it into your office, you could lock the bike up outside because there's no room to bring it in the office, and you can just unlock the battery, bring it in, take your power pack out, plug it in the wall, and do your job, and at the end of the day, you take it, slap it back in. Number three I like is the gearing. That 8th gear comes in so handy when you're riding the bike and you're up around 25 to 28. You feel like you're still connected to the bike. Okay, so this is a bike where you enjoy pedaling it. You don't feel like you're over revving. And majority of these bikes here that have only 7 gears, you feel like you're over revving and you're doing that hamster stuff. And then eventually you're just going to use the throttle and then you're just going to ghost pedal, and you don't feel like you're getting any kind of exercise and you're not helping the bike out. But I never have that problem when I'm riding this bike right here, because I always constantly feel like I'm tied into the motor and I'm contributing to the power. So those are the 3 things that I like about the bike. Now, the 3 things that I think could be better on the bike is going to be the headlight, because the headlight is a little bit too small. And as you can see here, the headlight on this here is about the size of like a little bit bigger than a quarter. Number 2 is the display. This is just a standard display. It is a simple display and it works fine. There's no problem with this. However, I would have liked to seen like maybe a color display or just a bigger type of a display. Number 3 is the cabling here. A little bit more slack on the cabling would be better than what we have here, because the issue that I'm having with this right now is that if you fold it down, you're gonna have a situation where these things unsnap. And I thought I was the only person that had that problem, but then I saw a Mr. Central driver. It happened to him when he folded his bike up. He went ahead, and I noticed, I'm like, oh, take a look. All of his wires came apart too. So let me show you. When you go to pull this thing down, you hit this front, this cable automatically comes right across here like this. And if you're not paying attention, you're gonna continue to push the handlebar down, and in doing so, it's gonna stress out these wires and pull these things apart. So you would need to like push it over and then bring it down, or push it around the back and bring it down, and then you'll be okay. But as it is right here, when it automatically wants to land on this, and you'll find a situation where the cables will pop apart. So you gotta be careful, just make sure that they go either left or right. So just the cabling right there. But guys, this is very small stuff. So folks, that's everything I have for you today. If you found any of this information beneficial or useful, and you want to find out more about this Ride One at Portola, a link to the website will be down in the description below. Head on over there, take a look at the bike, see if you like it. Like I said, the going price for it right now is $995. And if it's not the bike for you, stay tuned. Next week, I'll have another review for you. So anyways, folks, thank you so much again for tuning in. I'm Joey, it's Maria behind the camera. You're watching Vegas D-Tech Reviews, and I will catch you guys on the next video. You guys be well. I'll see you guys later now.